Florida, on Monday, April 24th, 2023. Roll call, please.
Smith.
Here.
Weinrich.
Here.
Bragg.
Here.
Roberts.
Present.
Mayor Harrington.
Here. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda approval. Do we have any additions or deletions to our agenda tonight from the commission? Seeing none, I have one. We're going to defer the executive session 12.1 for 2 weeks.
I'll make a motion to approve the amended agenda.
Second.
Commissioner Weimer's motion to approve, second by Commissioner Robish. Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinrich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Roberts.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Public forum. Public comments may be sent during a live meeting broadcast on the city's YouTube channel. The link is listed on the city's website at www.huronsd.gov. Click on Government when City Commission, and then City Commission. In order to use the YouTube chat feature, please create an account with your YouTube chat in Gmail or use your existing accounts. Please state your name and address. For the record, public forum is limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per person. And we have our HR director, Sean Sterrett, sitting on the computer in the back of the room today. If you have any questions, you can use a Gmail and get them to her, and she'll get the questions asked tonight. If we get them answered tonight, we will. If not, we'll get to them tomorrow and get back to you. All right, with that.
Mr. Mayor, could I,
Yes.
quick public forums, I apologize we didn't put it in as an item, but I have had a few folks ask about the green bins and just wanted to clarify that this week, citywide, those are to be picked up on Wednesday, and then starting next week, they'll be on the regular schedule with your trash pickup. So have had a few requests about that, so just wanted to clarify that.
Who are we?
Yep.
Commissioner Weimer.
I do have a public forum here pertaining to the James River. As conditions continue to rise, some of the lower level roads have been affected. The traffic department has closed Wyville Drive and had placed barricades. This will also affect some recreational trails in the area. And then it's a reminder that it is against the law to go around any of those barriers if it is for a closed road.
Very good. Thank you. I have a public forum. It's an honor tonight to thank commissioners leaving our commission after, I believe, 14 years, Mark?
Correct.
Mark Robish, Mr. Robish, then was for 14 years. Had many different duties over the years, but I tell people that one of your shining lights in my eyes is variances. You are very good with variances. You know what east, west, and south is, and where the water flows, and how high the fence has got to be, and you are a stickler for that, and we certainly appreciate that part of your job.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Many other things that you've done over the years, I'm sure, are something that you've learned from, and I know that the employees in the past have always felt that you treat them with respect, and they appreciate your attitude and working with them. So I've had people tell me that, so I'm not pulling that out of the air.
Oh, okay.
We appreciate what you've done over those 14 years. And you've seen, in that time, you've seen a lot of changes in our commission. It seems like every 2 years we change. We have different people come in, and if somebody doesn't want to run, then there's open spots. So I know you've worked with so many very good people over the years. Some of them have been here for over 25 years, like Jan and Lois and people like that. And I'm sure you learn a lot from Jan and people like that over the years. So with that, Mark, don't forget to take your glasses. And
Okay.
you don't need those. And if you got anything you want to say?
Yeah, I would. Thank you, Mayor. Usually a man of few words, but I guess I think I might take all 3 minutes tonight.
You're on the clock.
It might take more than 3 minutes to sum up the last 14 years, but I'll do my best here, I guess. I mean, I grew up in here and I've been here all my life, and I guess I thought I knew Huron pretty well, but sitting on here, I've gotten to know Huron like things that I had no clue of, okay, so, yeah, I've been blessed to sit here for 14 years and, working with the people that I've worked with, I've realized that Huron is the best place to raise a family and to make a living, and most of all, to call home. That's the best thing about Huron. And I've experienced firsthand the opportunity to be the person in charge to make that decision that I know nothing about. And that for that, I want to thank our city staff, from the department heads to the employees. I've used those resources more than I can repay them, I guess. So if you're looking for payment, checks in the mail maybe. But I really appreciate the employees. We all have our bad days, but our employees are very professional, they're very dedicated, and they're very approachable. And for that, I want to thank every one of them, and for helping me do my job, because I couldn't have done it without them. Our city can only survive on volunteers. We've talked about that on this level, but we have a board, and we have one in our midst tonight. She's been on board for, I don't know how many years, but
30, it's the
long
30
time.
year.
Yeah, and they're all volunteers. It takes away from their time, it takes time from their family, it takes time from their work, but they still do it, and that's what Huron is made of, is people like that. So I really appreciate that. Now I lost my train of thought here. I'd personally like to thank you all for trusting me with helping lead Huron to continue to be a great place to raise a family and make a living and call home. And right now, we're experiencing a lot of young professionals. They're starting their families, they're starting their careers in here, and boy, we need that. We need that big time, and we need to support them. So it's exciting to see them. I'm the old guy on the commission here now. We got Mr. Weinreis and Mr. Harvey. It's great to see young people want to get involved with our city leadership. And I know Rich and Brian and the mayor, you won't let them get too far ahead of you. So that's great. I'm very confident in the leadership that we have coming in and what we have going on. I guess I would like to thank the public too for keeping me involved, getting me involved, and the bad phone calls, the good phone calls, either way, it's all growing pains, and you have to take both. You have to take the good ones and the bad ones, and you have to learn from both. But I want to encourage people to please remember to shop local, especially with these young professionals coming in here. As much as you depend on them to have their business open, they depend on you to shop local. And that's what's going to keep our city going. So, again, I want to say thank you, and God bless you all. Thank you.
I'd like to stand up and give it. Thank you, Marvin. Okay, we'll move on to a proclamation for April 24th through 28th is Arbor Week, and April 28th is Arbor Day. Some of the things that on the proclamation, one of it is in 2022, Huron is recognized as a Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation for the 41st year and desires to continue its tree planting practices. Now therefore I resolve that I, Gary Harrington, Mayor of the City of Huron, South Dakota, do hereby proclaim April 24th through the 28th, 23 as Arbor Week. In the City of Huron, I also urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day on April 28, 2023, and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote well-being of this and future generation. In witness of this era, I have hereupon set my hand and caused seal of the City of Huron to be affixed to the 24th day of April in the year of our Lord 2023. Okay. Moving on, the City Commission now will adjourn to convene as a Board of Adjustment for the following public hearings. I'm going to call on our city planner to tell us what 4.1 is for us to decide tonight.
Thank you, Mayor. This variance request was filed by Iron Horse Development as the agent for JTS Investments LLC. Project address is 186 21st Street Southwest. They're requesting to simply reduce the number of parking spaces to a maximum of 32, whereas code requires a maximum of 44 for the purpose for the proposed building size in an area zone B3 General Business District. We do have representatives here from Iron Horse Development, and so could you please join us at the podium, please? Say your name and your address for the record, please.
Yes, it's Levi Bond with Iron Horse Development. We're out of Wichita, Kansas. Street address is 142 North Emporia. If you have any answering questions, or just quickly go over our viewpoint of the request, whichever you prefer.
The proposed site, you have it up on the board over here, just for the record. The proposed site would be on the east side of what is the white gravel area here. So it actually sits about right in here along 21st Street. Access would be on 21st Street. Here you go. Access would be from 21st Street, and it would sit facing to that north side. They are simply asking to reduce the number of required parking stalls. They have provided us, well, let me back up. Generally, our ordinance deals with retail stores just in a kind of a lump sum fashion. So all of retail stores are treated the same. They have provided us with details from an ITE study that shows that drills down even further and shows that a variety store type of retail store actually uses about half of those. About, I think the number was 24, I believe.
24.
Yeah, and they have agreed to up that even to a maximum of 32, and so we thought that was a reasonable compromise. And so with that, we recommended approval of that request. For the record, the building inspector did recommend that we require them to follow the existing ordinance. So for the record, Chris Newman was opposed to the variance. However, myself and the hearing examiner did recommend approval.
Any questions for the applicant?
I'd move for approval of the reduced number of parking spaces for discussion.
Okay, Commissioner Smith moves to approve. Need a second on that? item?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Ray. Now, any questions for the applicant?
I have a couple
Yeah.
questions.
Yes,
Of course,
Mark.
I don't know if it'd be for you or for Barry or what, but I see in the notes that there's an opaque fence has to be on the south.
Mm-hmm.
What about on the west?
On the west, that lot is large enough that if, in the event they locate another retail store, for example, or another business in there, we'll require that at that time, but at this time, it was far enough away that there wasn't gonna be any light wash or anything. So we only required it against the residential neighborhood on the south.
Okay, that's fine.
Any more questions for me? Yes, Commissioner Rowe.
Were there any comments from the?
No, there were no comments, we received no objections or no pro or con comments regarding the variance request.
Okay. Questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. Have a roll call vote on this item, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinreich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
At this time, the Board of Adjustment adjourns to reconvene as the City Commission. We're going to go to the consent agenda. Matters appearing on the consent agenda are expected to be non-controversial and be acted upon by the Commission at one time without discussion unless a member of the Commission requests an opportunity to address any given item. Items removed from the consent agenda will be discussed at the beginning of the formal items. 6.1, minutes of the April 17th City Commission meeting. 6.2, fuel quotes for city departments. 6.3, parade permit filed by the Huron Chamber and Visitors Bureau for July 4th, contingent on approval by the South Dakota Department of Transportation for the use of Dakota Avenue. 6.4, parade permit filed by Jason Bechtold for the annual torch run on May 16th, 2023. 6.5, application for abatement and refund for property taxes for 172 4th Street Southeast. 6.6, personnel items. Recommend hiring seasonal positions for Central Park, Slack Central. 2, recommend a wage correction for Kevin Fritzie seasonal golf maintenance. 3, recommend hiring Ronald Russell for seasonal golf maintenance. 4, recommend hiring Crystal Christensen for seasonal Memorial Golf Pro Shop. 5, recommend adding Jesse Strickner to the volunteer fire position. 6, recommend promotion of Chad Morgan to the informational technology director. 7, correct the resignation date of Christina Perry from full-time scale operator position. 8, recommend hiring Christina Perry as a part-time scale operator. 6.7, payment of the bills. Need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent?
Commissioner Rovish moves to approve.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Smith. Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinreich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Bid quotes, 7.1, I'm going to go to Dennis Bennett, Assistant Engineer, to explain what 7.1 is.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. This is change order for the east end of 7th Street Northeast. Last year when we did the project, we found what we thought underground wasn't necessarily the truth. So we just got one little segment there. We want to hit that and be done with that area. So recommend approval of change order.
Motion to approve 7.1.
Commissioner Reimers motions to approve. Need a second on 7.1?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Smith. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinreich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Moving on to petitions and communications. 8.1, I'm going to call on Financial Director Pauline Carey to explain what this one is.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a special event on-sale license for the Blackburn Hall at the Campus Center for James Valley Shriners. They're doing a Vegas night. We have received no comments and asked for approval.
Motion.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve 8.1, Commissioner Smith. Motion, I need a second on this item.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Bragg. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinrich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Now we'll move on to a work session. 11.1, cell tower discussion. We're going to call